So good morning, everyone. We are CD Valet. So my name is Howie Wu. I'm the head of product for CD Valet, which is a new, really unique digital marketplace for CD customers to connect with financial institutions. Most of you probably don't know, but the retail CD market is about a $1.5 trillion business today, which honestly is larger than the lending market. However, only a small portion of the marketplace is digital today, which is really just hurting a lot of consumers, a lot of banks and credit unions. Today I've asked Josh Williams, our head of partnerships, to help come up and demo with me how CD Valet is creating a better marketplace for consumers as well as financial institutions.
Great. Thanks, Howie. So the first thing that we did in building a better marketplace was to make sure that the roughly 15 million estimated US retail CD customers can have access to better rates. So essentially what we've done is we started effective in March, posting over 19,000 rates from 2,600 FIs, and that's starting to give visibility to a new set of options that wasn't previously available. The next thing we're doing, and we're happy to announce is coming live, is the ability for those rates to now become actionable. And so to see what that means, we're going to walk through two scenarios today from both sides of the marketplace. The first is somebody we'll call Carlos. He's the SVP of deposits at Bank of Boca del Mar. And Carlos knows three things. One, he has to grow deposits. Two, he needs to do that digitally, but right now he knows that rising interest rates are giving consumers increasing incentive to shop. At the same time, the technology is making it easier than ever for them to move. But currently, and up until now, the digital marketplace for deposits has really been cornered by a handful of national FIs who can afford to use the national pay-to-play rate sites to get their volume. And that's leaving out a huge part of the market for both consumers and FIs. So Bank of Boca has essentially become a participating FI with CD Valet, and they're getting a couple of things for that. The first is they're getting access to analytics that can help them structure their offering and price that. So what we're seeing here is a dashboard that Carlos or somebody at the bank can log into. And I know it's a little hard to see maybe from the audience, but in the top right, you can get a sense of where the trends are in the market right now. That we can see that there are over 733 rates that are 5% or above on CD Valet today. And on April 1st, there were only 230. Over on the bottom left side, you can see essentially the ability to see state by state how rates compare if you're thinking about how to set up an offering between states. And you can drill down into any one state and see for any given term who the head players are in those spaces. And we cover both standard and promotional rates. Additionally, users can go and see what consumer behavior looks like on CD Valet. So you can see what types of things consumers are interested, whether that's a specific term, whether it's promo or standard. And that brings us to our other part of the equation, which is Angela. She is a typical CD shopper, and as is mostly the case, she's digitally savvy, she's financially smart, and has roughly 100,000 she wants to invest. She's been in the market, so she's seen advertisement for CD Valet, and that's brought her to our site today. Right at the start, you'll see a ticker across the top, with some rates that are really pretty aggressive. If you're a banker, this might give you some heartburn. Those are all 5s and a few 6% rates. But that transparency about what's actually being made available in the market today is essential and at the heart of what makes CD Valet a better marketplace. So in the case of Angela, she wants to open an account. She'd prefer to do it online, but she does want it to be with the bank that she can go and visit personally if she wants. So she's going to narrow her search to banks in her area. She wants to have a 12-month rate because it's easy to remember when the maturity is, so she selects on standard rates and immediately sees a wide variety of options. These are all rates in the 4s and 5%. She scrolls through and finds not just a handful of banks that she knows are local, but finds one, Bank of Boca, that has the ability to apply now. And this is the new capability that we're rolling out. So in this case, and about 80% of our users today are visiting on a mobile browser, and so that's what we're showing you here. Once she starts the process, the first thing CD Valet is going to do is check to make sure she meets the eligibility requirements of that offering. So for most banks, that would just be a geographic constraint, but for credit unions, there may be other seg-based constraints. So we want to make sure that there's a fit before we start the origination process. Once she's met that, we can either hand that lead off to a bank in the form of a PDF, which their staff can manage if that's how they want to do it. We can send it in a flat file for upload and processing via email campaigns. Or if a bank already has a strong digital origination solution, we can redirect this lead into that flow, and Angela would open her account on their platform today. But in the case of Bank of Boca, they've elected to use a purpose-built, turnkey, end-to-end origination solution for CDs that we're making available through CD Valet, and that's what she's going through here. The first thing she's going to do is, of course, complete ESign Consent, so this is going to be a binding electronic contract. She's going to receive all of the necessary terms and conditions, Patriot Act disclosures, et cetera. She's going to tell us about the account ownership type, whether that's joint, sole, or a payable upon death. And then she's going to go through and provide all the required information in terms of physical address, mailing address. She can set up beneficiaries and provide all the required contact information. The information she's being provided is both being used in session for KYC, but will also be passed through into the ultimate account profile. So she's going to run through those items, and then the next thing that will come up is she's going to start the identity verification process. And while we go through this, it's a good time to talk a little bit about how and why we built the origination flow the way we did. So we built this using Prelim, and it's an existing account opening software platform. We chose Prelim because they have a great native user experience and the ability to integrate best-in-class solutions along the way. So right now you can see that we're running IDV using Persona. We'll use Plaid for instant authentication, and we can use DocuSign for all the e-sign. Those components allow us to have a product that allows FIs to get to market very quickly with a solution that's going to have a great customer experience, easily get through your vendor management, as well as meet all of the compliance and regulatory expectations that as regulated institutions we have to do. This is important because we know from market research from Cornerstone, but also just a lot of our own experience that banks, 3/4 of banks today report being only halfway through their digital transformation. And we know that banks that are opening deposits on traditional origination technology often see account abandonment of up to 50%. So this is a solution that solves for those problems and allows banks to go and compete quickly. Once the e-sign is complete, Angela's able to go through and authorize the account funding process. We'll authenticate that through Plaid. And when this is done, we essentially have a fully executed account that can be boarded and funded. And that is the power of a better marketplace. We look forward to seeing you at booth 215 and talking more about how we can work with you. Thank you.
Awesome.